Good evening. This is Maestro with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today, we have a 3v3 of unknown skill level on Angel Gate. Our first player is going to be Dr. Akula DDS, playing as the Mekboy. Teleporting ranged hero that can repair. Next up, we're going to have Secutor playing as the Lord General. Squad-based hero, the only one in the game, has a retinue that can reinforce and has a lot of support abilities. Next up, we're going to have sh1sh playing as Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer, spellcasting and battlefield manipulation hero. Mexika86 on the red team is going to be playing as yet another Lord General. And then we're going to have a pair of Farseers. These are some support heroes with some spells, even a heal. And our first one is going to be ThingAreGettingClownNow, can't even read the rest of his name. And then finally, our final player is going to be AlphaLegion in here as this second Farseer. Been a while since we've got a game of Angel Gate. Angel Gate, often a map that is seen as enjoyable to watch, sometimes considered a little less enjoyable to play, which is why you don't necessarily always see it that often, particularly more so among a lot of the more known players, especially the higher level ones, would prefer to just skip this map altogether. But you know what, when we get it, it is at least fun to watch. So then, our Sorcerer going to be moving down here. We're going to look for that bottom power node, but it has already been activated by the red team, so not so easily to take it for sh1sh down here. We would probably need to commit a Heretic squad in melee to reasonably bash it. Only a single Doombolt goes off. The Farseer nearly taken down, possibly in fact taken down, and indeed she will. Meanwhile, our Guardians are going to have to get out of there. No grenade. Actually, one grenade is there. Heretic solo, they are going to have to retreat. The Howling Banshees come in. There is a Heretic Doomblast, but we need some Chaos Space Marine Focus Fire to really threaten these Banshees. Doombolts are going to go in as well, and that's enough damage to really bring the Banshees low. But a second squad of Banshees is here for ThingAreGettingClownNow. I don't know what the rest of that... Let's just call him our Clown Man. And he's clowning all over these Chaos Space Marines. They are getting knocked over. They need to retreat before they lose another model or even the entire squad. It's so close they lose another model. I think they will manage to not lose the entire squad. Meanwhile, what is going on over here? Looks like double shoot of DPS is going to be overwhelming the Imperial Guard down in the bottom. But a stomp is going to slow down the advance of the Sluggers. There is some suppression going on the Guardsmen. And turns out I'm going to be wrong. Thought it looked like our Imperial Guard was going to get overrun, but they managed to hold the line right here. Some heals coming in from the Lord General, probably in part responsible for that. We do have a Lord General upgraded with the Sergeant Retinue member, allows him to distribute health packs to his own units. And the shooters for the moment holding in here, but they're going to have to go. Sentinel moving in right into Guardian Fire. Needs to be super careful here. For now, it's managing to... that's a rather bold play, and my god, is it going to get out alive? Just barely gets out alive. Again, very bold play there by our Guardsman player, who... We do see the Spotlight upgrade, increasing the Sentinel's detection radius from 12 to 20. This is a relatively recent addition. And truth be told, I kind of look at it as kind of a meme, but I'm also not quite in the practice of actually playing the game myself to know for sure. Certainly the description of it sounds rather underwhelming, just increasing the detection radius from 12 to 20. I mean, if we do think about that, that is actually a rather large increase, but... like, at least percentage-wise, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't feel like the most useful thing to spend your resources on. Meanwhile, Dr. Akula apparently now having a lot of trouble up top. We've got a heavy weapon team set up to hold this point. No way the Orc approach from here is going to work. We have a second Orc unit coming in around the arc of the heavy weapon team. Does force the heavy weapon team to set up, or to reset up. But I don't see Mexika being dislodged from this position too soon. Meanwhile, it sounds like things are not going well for Secutor. Yeah, these shooter boys, unfortunately, just going to get suppressed here, and then some burst damage going to come in from the grenade launchers. Eventually, that's going to be a retreat from the shooter boys, losing a model on their retreat as well. A little bit of a calm between the storms. 489 to 384, though, so significant victory point lead for the blue team, which is interesting. To me, it has actually felt like the red team has certainly had more control over the battles, but I guess they haven't converted that into victory point control. Meanwhile, we've got some Raptors jumping in, managed to get onto this Guardian weapon team. One Guardian weapon team is forced off, two apparently, because we do have the double jump unit strategy coming out from sh1sh, having the Raptors as well as the Sorcerer with the Sword of Flame. Just kidding, I meant to say the Vestments of the Warp. Sword of Flame usually paired with the Vestments of the Warp, but not in this case. Sometimes you go for the Vestments of the Warp first, just so you have that mobility, you have that ability to counter setup teams, and you may hold the Sword of Flame upgrade just to save the resources, but getting that Sword of Flame does make him a lot more threatening when he does teleport in. Anyway, Farseer is going to go down there. This one, I actually can't tell which one. Actually, now we can, so that is our Clown Man right here, losing his Farseer. Meanwhile, some artillery going in. This is a double, actually. Well, actually, there are two players here, but only one unit from one of those players. And it is looking like possibly a red team retreat. Stormboy's getting out of there, though. Sentinel being aggressive and currently not being punished because the guardsmen are just moving back. They're just not even putting any pressure on the Sentinel as it approaches. Flank comes in from the Howling Banshees, but unfortunately they are sussed out, and they will get out of there without losing any models. My God, lucky for them. Very, very lucky. Down in the bottom, it seems like the bottom has been more or less conceded by the blue team at the moment. But it looks like there's an actual fight going on up top. Grenades being thrown in from a distance. This heavy weapon team still holding this point. The Orcs trying to get around the firing arc. And I think now they are about to be overwhelmed. We're going to see the Lord General on the side of Secutor with the sniper rifle, granting increased range to 2 units nearby. Very, very useful ability. In my opinion, I do think that this is generally the best weapon upgrade for the Lord General, but the others do certainly have a place. All right, wow, we're going to have quite a bit of movement right here. sh1sh would actually be our bottom lane player, but he's going to be moving up to assist with the bash up here up top. Unfortunately, Chaos early bashing not very strong without a Noise Marine squad. Meanwhile, I do hear some Banshees using their War Shout, or yes, it is War Shout. Chasing after the Sluggers, taking model after model. 2 of the Slugger models will get out of there. Well, we do have an infiltrated squad of Stormtroopers moving around looking for something, but what? Fight is happening up here. Raptors looking for the decap after the node has been destroyed. Grenade Launcher Heretics, as well as some big AoEs between the Grenade Launcher Heretics as well as the Dark Flames right there. Guardsman units running away from the Dark Flames, but they're all so low, especially the 2 Guardsman squads. And then we've got a Catachan Devil squad in there at about 60% of their health. Gonna get out of there. One lone shooter squad just sitting behind cover. Just holding the line down here. We're gonna have the movement through the sh1sh worship. Howling Banshees gonna move right into that, but okay. Enough damage is put onto them that they will just get out of there. Raptors will jump forward onto the second squad of Howling Banshees, but then they retreat because they're a half-health squad of Raptors jumping into a full-health squad of Howling Banshees. Not a good engagement for them. Both of the Farseers just running in, looking to tie things up, while the rest of the infantry does get knocked down. Heal goes off from the Spirit Stones of our Clown Man's Farseer. Meanwhile, we're going to see another upgrade, the Gravity Blade, picked up by AlphaLegion. Does levitate that Sorcerer and knock him away. Not a whole lot of damage done to him in the process, but now he is in a rather difficult position. I think just wants to hopefully look for a teleport away, especially over the terrain, so that it's not an easy chase for the Howling Banshees, kind of just like that. Blood Crusher is now out for sh1sh. and double stormtroopers for Secutor. One of them has already been upgraded with the assault kit, granting that increased range and reducing weapon cooldown to 0. It's basically just giving a DPS increase. You can see all the damage just being put into these Howling Banshees. Haven't lost a model just yet, but here comes... Oh no! This is actually terrible, terrible. Especially the second squad of Howling Banshees isn't focusing on the Shooter Boys. Pretty sure that would have been a dead Shooter squad. Might even still be... No, I don't think it is. Missed opportunity there, not focusing both of the Banshees on the Shooter Boys. So that Shooter squad will get out of there just with their Shooter Not. Meanwhile, we're going to see a Weird Boy out on the field. Still a big victory point lead for our blue team. Wraithguard out on the field as well, but Raptors should be an easy counter to that. But, you know, it's not an easy counter. Well, maybe it is. The Blood Crusher themselves going to make sure the Wraithguard... Actually, I don't know where I'm going with this. Either way, Wraithguard off the field. I think they're going to have trouble getting value here with all the potential counters against them. Guardian Squad eats some grenades. Well, we do have some... My God, look at how far these guys are going. They're all the way in the base. They're looking for the kill on this Guardian Squad. No, they're looking for... That's... Yeah, I don't know about going for the turret. I think that the player was attempting to kill the Guardian Squad. And the turrets are... They're actually past the turret firing arcs. Oh. That was funny. I think more could have been done with that. I think he really needed to take advantage of his element of surprise to focus on the low health Guardian Squad and look for the squad wipe. Unfortunately, was not meant to be, and I think what was meant to be was some kind of squad wipe right there. Looks like AlphaLegion has probably lost at least a squad of his own. Yeah, Guardsman squad has gone down for Secutor. Lord General dead somewhere as well. Sentinel going to move in, going to look for the decap, of course. Raptors, meanwhile, upgraded with the Aspiring Champion. Going to make them a little bit tankier and more damaging in those fights. It also looks like they're moving around, but Seer Council are already out for AlphaLegion. Hasn't invested a whole lot. Is that a time field? That's got to be a time field from, yes, the Armor of the Assyrian picked up by AlphaLegion. Unfortunately, I don't feel like too much was made out of that time field other than to just kind of show it. Here is another levitation field, but I don't... Okay, the levitation field picks up a Stormboy nod. Stormboys will end up jumping out, and a Weird Boy Vomit also slows down the Seer Council. We're now in retreat. Not going to lose a single model. So this is AlphaLegion right here. Does have that armor, the Assyrian. Double grenade on the shooters. Does kill a few models. So Farseer with the armor of the Assyrian, also the runes of reaping to use spells more often. But no Spirit Stones to provide like a heal to the Seer Council. Spirit Stones only for the Clown Man over here. Stormtroopers are a rather interesting counter to the Wraithguard. As long as they keep kiting, they can't just stand there. They can actually counter the Wraithguard, but if they just stand there, they are going to get blown apart. They're actually nearly getting wiped. Assault Kit Stormtroopers actually can counter Wraithguard because of their extended range. They can just outrange the Wraithguard and then kite them when they try to get in range. Another levitation field does pick up some Chaos Space Marines who are going to be tossed aside. A big War Vomit going in as well. The Weird Boy does go down in retreat, and we're going to see the Autarch called in as well. So dead Weird Boy. He had a pretty short life. And we're going to have a sh1sh Dreadnought coming out from sh1sh. The sh1sh Dreadnought is a rather interesting choice. We don't have a whole lot in terms of vehicles on the side of the red team, and mostly all just belong to Mexika. Meanwhile, Howling Banshees, I think, going down, or at least so close. One squad goes down, a second one gets out of there with only one model, and losing the XR. Huge losses there for our Clown Man, kind of just clowning around in this game right here. Meanwhile, up top, it is a double cap for the red team, as Mexika does move in. He's going to be looking for the full generator bash, but we do see Secutor is reporting that he is going to be moving up top, so soon we should see some movement. Here's the movement from Dr. Akula, but he's a little low on forces. He's going to need some support. We do see the tank coming in from Secutor, which at the moment is mostly uncountered. It mostly depends on where is this heavy weapon team going to set up. Currently, it's not set up. Ooh, the Lehman Russ I thought was going to go for more of a flanking angle. This is letting the heavy weapon team actually set up. Yeah, I think that coming in from the side, the flanking angle might have worked better. Heavy weapon team still not set up, though. Lehman Russ has now definitely been spotted, and the heavy weapon team is going to set up. I'm not even sure if Secutor actually has vision of it, but he certainly sees that he's getting shot by it now. He needs to move, he needs repairs, he needs something. Is that going to be a rocket run or a creeping barrage? Creeping barrage. It's actually a pretty good creeping barrage, but I'm still worried about the Lehman Russ. Lehman Russ is dead in one more shot, I think. No, it would need two, so I think it just barely gets out. My God. Really cutting it close there. Repairs coming in on the Lehman Russ. A refractor field coming in on the Lord General, as he now has the Commissar upgrade. So much health as well. Also getting stabilizers to get health regeneration to allied infantry. Meanwhile, the red team is going to take advantage of this movement up top to try to take the natural victory point away from the blue team, as this damaged Lehman Russ limps back to base looking for repairs. Oh, Tark looking in to jump in with the fusion gun. I don't think it's enough, but it is funny, and it just might work. Just a few more. Oh, the suppression. It's going to be a dead Autark. Oh, no. Oh, no. Olomeo called by Things Are Going to Get Clown Now. Finally able to see his full name. And I think that's a... yeah, another dead squad. Things are just getting clowny around here now. Victory points, though, being evened up a bit. Still almost 100 victory points behind for the red team, but they are evening that up rather quickly. As we see the double Farseers moving around again. And... Luda, Def Gun on the Mekboy. That's a little bit of a... I don't know about that time field. Not hitting much. Still the double cap for the red team. Dr. Akula rather low on units. Going to be picking up a Knob squad here, while sh1sh and Things Are Going to Get Clown Now moving on to Tier 3. Many of our players already in Tier 3, Secutor and AlphaLegion as well. And the Fire Prism is going to come out. Fire Prism, often... a much maligned unit by the YouTube viewing audience, but it is quite good. That being said, you really need to take advantage of its range. It is already way too close. You also need other units to sight for it. Am I missing a nuke? Yes, yes, we're missing a rocks. We're catching the rocks, but we missed some of it. Slugger Boy is going to charge in on the Wraith Guard. Wraith Guard do not manage to get the suppression on the Slugger Boys to slow them down. So Wraith Guard are trying to run back. They do have a Warlock leader. Warlock leader has now been killed. That means they are momentarily stunned and they just retreat after that. They're actually so low on health as well. Alright, sh1sh Dreadnought opening fire. Another levitation field. Alright, Fire Prism is way too close. Yeah. Like, the Fire Prism has much more range than the sh1sh Dreadnought. Should not be really in range to get hit by it. And it's a very close call, which, of course, things like that are reasons why so many people who watch the game think the Fire Prism is terrible. It's weak. It gets killed pretty easily. It's not good at dueling. It's not good at dueling other vehicles. You got to take advantage of the extreme range of that unit, which would really be useful. Anyway, Seer Council trying to make something happen, but they realize they're just going to get overwhelmed, and they'll choose to get out of there without any losses. Second squad of Seer Council coming in. This one for a different player. This one belonged to AlphaLegion. They go into the time field. So many other units in the time field. Big levitation field. But what is going to happen? Is there an Eldritch on top of this? Because if there's not an Eldritch, it doesn't do too much. It does just knock them all over the place. Yeah, Eldritch was not available for either player. Lehman Russ. Oh no, the Fire Prisms. Lehman Russ actually switching to the Executioner Cannon. Tome of Subjugation on the Seer Council. They don't do a whole lot with that. It kind of just slows down the approach from the red team, but there's not really a juicy enough target there for them to make a play, I think. The positioning isn't that good either, but here is an Imperial Abyss eating up some Guardians, and the Fire Prisms will just drive out. What? Wow! And while I'm watching the Imperial Abyss, the Dreadnought actually goes down. Oh no! But somehow one of the Fire Prisms goes down as well. Just missing all the vehicle deaths in this game. What's going on up top? Ooh, Knobs moving in. I feel like the Knobs can just kind of go ham now. We're going to see the defensive barrage actually working, I think. But the Manticore needs to keep going. Otherwise, the Knobs can just get up. I think the plasma damage... Oh my god, the positioning, the path blocking is just not going to work out for the Manticore. Manticore should be gone. Indeed it is. I think there was a good idea there. But let's not talk about ideas. Let's talk about this Creeping Barrage. Creeping Barrage is going to knock over some Knobs. I think there was a good idea there. I think that the Plasma Guardsmen could have scared off the Knobs if the Manticore could have just moved behind them all. But in the panic, unfortunately, it was those very same Guardsmen as well as the Chimera that kind of path blocked the Manticore and made it so that it couldn't get away from the Knobs, low on health as they were. Victory points pretty evened up at 189 to 142. Desperate plays by AlphaLegion, looking for the decap here with the Dire Avengers. Just going to have them capture the point, tank this damage from the Shooter Boys. They are doing that with the help of the Warlock leader, making them a little bit tankier. They get the decap. But my god, how many guards or Guardian lives will it cost them? Okay, Fire Prism does knock over the Sluggers, prevents their further chase. And it's a double cap for the red team. Ooh, Singularities nearly resulting in the kill on that Slugger squad. We've got double D cannons, so big commitment to artillery for the red team. The Mekboy right here does have this super tough beam. Ooh, but he's going to be taken down. Super tough beam, rather useful for using on a squad like the Knobs. Incredibly useful, in fact. I want to read that description again. The tooltip for the super tough beam ability. I think it said 40% damage resistance, which on a squad like Knobs, that's ridiculous, given how tanky they already are. Cadians, Kashkins. Kashkins coming in here with a Meltagun. Just going all the way in. Oh, they should have... Going to continue to put pressure on that Chimera. It's nearly dead. Does it get out alive? 79 hit points, and does manage to get out of the Meltagun range of the Kasachans. Lascannon Predator going to come out for sh1sh. Lascannon Predator, I think he wants to hide this as long as he can. Hide it as long as he can to try to get the kill on the Fire Prism so that it really comes as a surprise. But he's having trouble getting close enough to it. I don't know if it's obviously not an infiltration anymore, but it might be out of vision. Okay, I think he's still trying to keep it as a surprise, but the positioning's still not quite good enough. If he can lead in with the Plague Marines, no! I mean, I guess he needs to deal with the Wraith Guard, but if he could just tie them up with the Sorcerer, miss an opportunity for the kill on the Fire Prism. I was going to say lead in with the Plague Marines, have them get the snare, and then complete the kill with the Predator. Anyway, Seer Council getting pretty low. They are getting out of there. 3 out of 5 models. One of those models is taken down on retreat, just with the sheer DPS coming from these Stormtroopers. Meanwhile, Lehman Russ going to be airdropped for Secutor. I believe this is his 3rd. Seer Council just raw walking forward, losing half their health, losing more than half their health, just trying to walk through. It's going to be rough for them. Looks like we're going to have... This is an Eldritch, not a Singularity. I think that one's... That's another Eldritch? The second Eldritch. Or is that a... No, that one's the Singularity. Oh, and it does actually take out... Does take out the Leman Russ. Where's this Fire Prism not targeting the Chaos Predator? Does it not have a target? One shot kills it! Yeah. I don't know. Things are starting to look rather rough for the blue team here. They've got the victory point lead, but for how much longer? It is 2-1 in favor of the red team, and it feels like they are asserting their dominance in this late game. Even going to look for the decap. I think they can get the decap. More than that is a little ambitious. Might even lose a mile or two getting the decap. Yeah, they can't finish this. Still, 2-0 in favor of the red team is a very powerful position for them. We've got some stray blue team units trying to make something happen. Super tough being granted onto the knobs. They should be able to finish off the heavy turret. Okay, they can make something happen here. The knobs are just not actually very well countered at the moment. We also need a unit on the victory point because the blue team is running out of time. So indeed, 40% more resistant to damage and immune to knockback and suppression. Using that on knobs is actually a ridiculous combo. That's like you retreat if that happens, because you're not winning against that in almost all cases. I think you need like a unit snare like the Sorcerer's Chains of Torment or Crippling Volley from the Inquisitor to really to actually slow that down. So Knobs actually putting in some work in this late game as well. Yeah, I almost think it's questionable for him to really stick around here. Autark call in. I don't know if that's really the best choice at the moment. Plasma Grenades nevertheless going to scare the Knobs off. If we take a look at our Mekboy, he does have the battery pack. I almost feel like those Knobs should not have retreated. And we should have seen the Mekboy try to give them a heal to keep them in the game, because our blue team players do not want to be leaving the field very much more. Secutor coming in, trying to help with the defense of the top victory point. Needs to do something about the Las Cannon. The Las Cannon at the moment is free firing, but I think now it's out of range. Las Cannon also gets a heal. I believe that was a Dark Flames. Squad of Banshees is going to be taken out here, or at least it should be, unless it's just ignored, which it looks like it's... No! That backwards Las Cannon shot from the Phobos will finish it off. But it is a double cap for the blue team. No, double cap for the red team. The blue team has like a minute maybe to make something happen. Not much time. Like, the Phobos needs to go forward. Like, I know it's concerned about the time field, but it needs to go forward. It needs to go forward. So do the Knobs. And by forward, I do mean north. Oh, so much time being lost here. The Phobos needs to go forward. They all need to go forward. Like, this isn't actually that strongly defended a position. They need to go forward. I think they're just out of time. Okay, the Sorcerer might try to make something happen. He's the closest one here. Not so much subjugation. I know, yes, that prevents the heavy weapon team, but the game is over if there is no unit on this point. It's too late. You can't decap it in time. So that will be the game going in favor of the red team. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good night.